day today, so we better hit it. Stop here. Okay. There's a bike behind us. No, it's not as exciting as I thought.
Plano, a ghost town, circa 1881. And one of the first things you see on your drive in is this abandoned building. No roof, floors missing, just a shell, but apparently a former casket factory here in Plano, Missouri. This cow was part of the local welcoming committee, but she doesn't seem to be too welcoming. She decided to leave. This one is at least taking a minute to check us out. All right, well, that was a great little stop. Just the building, neat little area here. Loving the Missouri countryside and the Ozarks. But we've got 3 states to get through today, so time to get on the road. Wow.
There's quite a few things to see everywhere for sure.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't stop.
I just got coffee on up the hill. If y'all want some, take some.
Okay.
I got
We got a full
soda
service.
up there. I got bottled water. If you prefer, have that.
Okay.
Ah.
Super good
Did
for
you
now.
have a look in the office there?
Yeah,
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
it is
My
amazing.
little shop here.
Awesome. Well, we'll check that out.
You probably already found the garage.
Yep.
Shop full of stuff too as well.
Yeah.
Now behind the garage, I got a 1932 International milk truck you might find.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
So you can have a look at that.
Yeah, we didn't get behind the garage, so.
Here, let me give y'all these before I forget. It's so early, I'm not even here yet.
Yeah, that's neat.
I think I've seen a lot of photos of that one.
Fine.
Drive in. Is this the bridge he was talking about?
Yeah. He said you can drive over it. Hope so.
Nope. 1 2 in. That's probably his house. Wow. Cat. Good morning.
You said we could take the cat. Like, don't tempt us. We don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Might be hard to get you across the border. Yeah.
Yeah, we're from Canada.
Hey, fella. Hi. Welcome. Yeah, thanks.
I have a little back problem, so I
Oh, yeah, please.
Have a seat.
So you're an artist?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Wow.
Well, I have a new backpack.
And so you moved all these in?
Yeah, this was a cornwest 35 years ago, so
Wow.
I moved everything in.
Wow.
If you go to, which way did you come in? In that direction? From the west?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
over there,
You're
County
headed west?
120.
You're headed west, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Talked to George,
Yeah.
And anyway, you pass a sign that said Red Oak.
Yep.
on the highway.
We saw
Right.
that, yeah.
It's a ghost town. There's nothing there anymore except a new church is also left there.
Huh.
And anyway, both sides of my ancestors pioneered it. And it's been 98 years ago when
Wow.
they got it.
So beautiful. Oh, another kitty. Hi.
side. It just goes up and makes a big loop. Mining towns around here.
Uh-huh.
Joplin, Carterville, Webb City, Alba, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah.
And each town had a jail like that.
Huh.
But the roof was the same as the side, so open.
Wow.
And someone get drunk and rowdy, they'd throw in there overnight, blizzard, snowstorm, heat wave, it didn't matter. Next time they come to town, they'd behave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think they'll do it again.
So Red Oak 2, I wish I knew how to describe this place. It's essentially one man's vision to preserve the town of Red Oak, which is, as you may or may not have heard him say earlier in the video, is now essentially a ghost town. There's one modern church there now, but Red Oak itself is gone, and Red Oak 2 remains this amazing tribute to his vision, I guess, is the only way to describe it. It's just, I'm not exactly sure. It's part history museum, part artist studio, part private residence. The door to the general store is open. Let's just kind of stick our head in here and see. Wow. Okay, I mean, Red Oak was on your major attraction list.
Yeah.
How would you describe it?
I think what really made it special is talking to Lowell Davis, who was the artist. He created a line of figurines and did quite well with it and used those resources to save all of the buildings in Red Oak. So I just think that sense of preservation and just passion for what he does made it even more special. I think if we had just come and seen the buildings, that would be one thing, but to meet Lowell, I mean, he's a true treasure of Route 66.
Alright, well that's it from Red Oak 2. There's not really any signs on the highway or anything, so you kind of have to know what you're looking for, but it is mentioned in a number of guidebooks and things, so when you're passing through Missouri on Route 66, you need to make an effort to get off the mother road and come check this place out. We made it to Cars on the Route.
Now, to go to Riverton on 66, you take a right up here.
Yeah, at the stoplight.
And then that is 66 that
Yeah.
takes you all the way through Kansas. All right, thank you so much. Yeah,
And then we got the yellow one, like,
okay.
like this one here, we got it, Avon.
Yeah, oh, nice.
And
But
so,
this is the tow one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
well, that's the Front Street Garage.
Uh-huh.
Right there. That's where they had Lightning McQueen at. And so, and this station is in the movie, and that one I believe is in the movie too. And the Front Street Garage on the other side of it, that's where they had the Ghost Rescue on the other side of it.
Oh, okay. There we go. One of the few Route 66 Kansas signs we'll see, just because it's such a short stretch. So there you go, cars on the route, which served as a major inspiration for all the Disney Cars films that came after it. The Eisler Brothers store, circa 1926, 25. Well, circa means around, so I'm sort of right, sort of wrong. Let's go see. Oh yeah. Old Riverton store, Eisler Brothers. Cool. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great little store here on the outskirts of Riverton, Kansas. It's nice seeing something that's nearly 100 years old still in use and still seeing a lot of good traffic here. So time to get back on the road. Next stop should be the Rainbow Bridge, unless we stumble across something else interesting along the way. Oklahoma, and a couple quintessential Route 66 attractions that are right across the street from each other here. Allen's Filling Station, where apparently you can get your flying saucer serviced. Now, while the pumps are still here, I'm thinking you're not buying gas for 17 and 9/10 cents of a gallon anymore. There's two attractions right across the street from each other. No, not the Volunteer Fire Hall. No, not our vehicle, but the Dairy King, another former service station / ice cream shop that is still a Route 66 attraction to this day. On the inside, when it's open, you can see there's still a guest book. Bunch of memorabilia. Really like this old rusted clock here. And this is I was going to say old air hose, but it's a fairly modern looking air hose actually. So this is the infamous Sidewalk Highway. You can kind of see in between in the center of the road. You can kind of see where the edges of the pavement are. They only paved a 9-foot section of the road and then just put a gravel shoulder on it, if you will. The theory, of course, being if you only pave it half as wide as you need to, you can go twice as far for the same amount of money. So we are just between Miami and Narcissa, Oklahoma, and this is the Sidewalk Highway of Route 66. All right, here's a great section where you can clearly see the one lane of pavement down the middle and just the dirt tracks on the either side. So this is a excellent section. We're westbound here, and wow, this just really shows you exactly what they're talking about when they talk about the Sidewalk Highway, also known as the Ribbon Highway, here on Route 66 in Oklahoma. You know, it's funny, we had people ask us why we didn't bring our RV on this trip, and it's because we wanted to do sections like this, and you really do beat the crap out of your vehicle on these roads. I mean, we're doing 20 miles an hour here and just vibrating around like crazy. So to bring an RV down here is just, if you like your RV, you won't do something like that. All right, so that completes a good section of the Sidewalk Highway. You can see the sign here that gives the details of it. Originally completed in 1922, so it predates Route 66 by 4 years. Taken out of service in 1937, so it's been 81 years since this was officially part of Route 66, but the old part of the Sidewalk Highway remains. Here, right by this sign, you can see the end of the road where it got cut off by the modern highway there, but right to the end, that's it right there, the end of the Ribbon Highway on Route 66. On the southern portion of the Sidewalk / Ribbon Highway, there's a section in the middle that's been taken over by Oklahoma State 69, but there's a northern section that we just came through, and now we're doing the southern section of the Sidewalk Highway. Nice section here with the old guardrails on both sides. We're going up and over I-44 here right now. There's the interstate. Remember our motto, interstates are for suckers. Although we're going to do 3 days on the interstate to get home, but, you know, whatever. So we're in Afton, Oklahoma at the site of the Avon Motel, which, as you can tell from what's behind me there, a series of little tourist cabins. Look like there were spots in between each of them to park your car. And what's amazing about Route 66 and what we were just saying on the way as we were out of town and bypassed this, I mean, we actually bypassed it and had to come back and check this out. In any one of the little towns we're passing by, there is like no less than half a dozen. I mean, half a dozen, no matter how small the town is. There is half a dozen of these little gems that if they were at home, we would drive hours to see them. And out here on Route 66, they're in every town, and they're to the point where we're not even stopping to photograph all of them just because there's so many. It's absolutely incredible. It's coming from where we come from, it is mind-blowing the amount of awesome abandonment that's out here on Route 66 still to this day. I can only imagine what it was like 20, 30 years ago. So that's it from Afton, Oklahoma, back on the road. You can accomplish with a labor of love and a dash of insanity. Wow. 1937 to 1948. 90 feet tall. Wow. Way up. You can see the infrastructure up there, all the stairways and things that took them up to the top.
100 tons of sand, 28 tons of cement, and 6 tons of steel.
200 different carved pictures. Got some feet. Oh, it's a turtle, yes. There's the turtle head. And there it goes. 90 some feet up into the Oklahoma sky. Wow.
People can rationalize anything.
Hello.
How are you all today? Oh, we're great. Okay, now I really want a margarita. First that other guy was in here with his shirt. Now I see your shirt, and those shirts are just making me think I need a margarita. And yours, see, yours is the lime color on it. I mean, I'm destined to have a margarita after we get out of here.
All right. When we started this trip and we talked about our must-see, most looking forward to attractions, this is one that was on both our lists, and we're here.
The Catoosa Blue Whale! Get the wheels, get the people. Alright, 1, 2, 3.
Now, I have to admit, one of the things, initial impression off the front that I never thought of before was just exactly how close to a busy stretch of Route 66 the Whale is on. For some reason in my mind, when I pictured the Blue Whale, I always had it in my mind as being much more rural than it actually is. But we are on just on the outskirts of Tulsa here, and there's a lot of traffic going by. This is a bit of a surprise to me. It's something that you don't think about when you first, when you're looking at these attractions. Is some of them are close to a pretty busy section. Route 66 is not all rural 2-lane highway. It's not disappointing in any way. It's just something I had never thought of before. Everything has a whale theme to it here. Even the entrance into the bathroom. And the signs on the outside. This is the one on the men's side. Unfortunately, the women's one has suffered a little bit of damage and is a one-eyed whale. Alright, I've walked around it, I've photographed it. Let's go on it. The Blue Whale of Catoosa. Onto the tongue, into the mouth.
So excited.
Alright.
I can't believe we're here. It's so exciting. I love kitschy roadside stuff, and this one is a masterpiece. Oh, he's camera shy.
Yep. He is. He's trying to dive down. Hey, little guy, sticking his head up. The green turtle of Catoosa. One last thing to do, and that is go up into the head.
I like walking.
You go up first. You wait. Ooh, okay. There you go. You made it.
keep going. You're almost there. You're almost there, sweetie.
Wow, good job.
Inside the head of the Catoosa blue whale.
Too big? You don't want to go up there?
Inside the whale.
All right, that is it from the Blue Whale of Catoosa. That's our last major stop of the day. Never would expect that a roadside attraction, one of the newer ones along 66, coming, dating from the early 70s, never would expect it to be nearly as much fun as it was. But you know what? We both wanted to see it, we both wanted to enjoy it, and we have. Check it off the list. So we're going to carry on in towards Tulsa now, and that'll probably be about as far as we get tonight. And we'll talk to y'all in a bit. Well, the sun is starting to set here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're checked in at the Desert Hills Inn, which is a 1950s style Route 66 motel. Picked it based off of the fairly good recent reviews, and frankly off the classic neon out the front. Yeah, we cannot wait till it gets a bit darker and we get to see this sign lit up here in the Tulsa night. Pretty nice place. Things look recently painted and whatnot, so I think there's a lot of renovation work that's gone into the place. Here's hoping we have a good night's sleep. It was another long day on the road, not in terms of mileage, but in terms of hours. So that's it. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.